Everyone, this is Susan Wanderlust, but my real name is Elizabeth. Yeah, I've not been posting for months on the blog, and I'm really, really sorry because major things happened to me in the last few months. In January, I did get my driving license, I got my PR in November, and then suddenly I got a job offer. Yeah, a job offer in KL. So very sudden. Um, and I think many of you who have been reading my blog would have gotten the impression that I was thinking of going home already. At one point, I was really, really homesick. I mean, seriously homesick. I would cry if I look at Facebook, at my friends' pictures. I was just missing my friends and family so much. And I made tentative calls back home, not really expecting anything, to be honest. I really thought I was really out of luck when it comes to jobs. But around February, I suddenly got a call. No, actually, I think it was January. Yeah, January, just right in the middle of my driving exams, I suddenly got a call saying that, oh, would you like this position back in my old company? And I was like, yeah. Okay, it was very, very hard to make that decision, I'll tell you the truth. Mm, in fact, it was a it was a very big monumental decision, um, and I wasn't really given much time because they really needed me almost immediately. So after just a couple of days, I decided okay, and I wouldn't advise anybody to relocate back to their home country in just a month, but that's precisely what I did. So I didn't really have much time to tell anybody about my decision, and I was also worried about how they would react. They'll probably be saying, "Oh my God, you make all this effort to go to Australia, and suddenly you're going home." And I'm like, it's really hard to explain why I felt that it was the right decision, except that um, sometimes you have other dreams bigger than the dream of being in Australia. I mean, I love Australia. I made such wonderful friends and I got to experience a career that I never thought I would be able to experience, which is in healthcare. And I honestly have so much of respect for nurses now because they deserve to be paid 10 times more than they're being paid right now. And yeah, I got to explore a whole new career and realize that maybe it's not really for me right now. Maybe in the future, who knows? Um, yeah, so I decided to come back. And to be honest, I was worried whether it was the right decision because, as somebody told me, many people who go there around my age never comes back. And in fact, an organization in Malaysia found me so fascinating that they actually interviewed me to find out why I came back to Malaysia. When they finally finish that video, I will put it up on the blog to let you see. So you're probably wondering, so should you make that decision to go to Australia if I decided to come back? And I find that um, this kind of decision is really individual. It really depends on you, what your dreams are, and what your objectives are. For me, my objectives is far bigger than Australia. I want to I want to develop my writing further. I want to be with my friends and family, and that's really important. So you're also wondering, is it a mistake to have come to Australia? No, it wasn't a mistake at all. Though I have to say it wasn't easy. The last 3 years, 2012 to 2014 and 15, was probably one of the hardest years of my life. But at the same time, it was also the most exciting and the years where I grew so much. I never thought I could do the things I could. I pushed myself to the extreme. I mean, during my time in Australia, not only did I write, I think, a couple of short stories and a novel or two. No, I wrote two novels. I also became a sort of like quasi nurse. I mean, we are called carers in Australia, but that's like I find it, I call it training wheels for nursing. I never thought I'll ever be in healthcare. I mean, I've always fantasized of becoming a nurse or something like that, but I never understood the reality of it. But yeah, I never thought I would be able to do it, but I did it. And I lived on my own. I've always lived on my own, but this is like alone, without any family around. It was frankly very scary. I also faced a lot of fears, and one of the fears I had was to be unemployed. I mean, seriously, I've not been unemployed ever. I've been working steadily since I was 16. I never stopped working. I was even working when I was studying in Australia. So, not uh, being able to be defined by my job for even 3 months was really hard. I mean, I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know what to call myself. What am I, a journalist? A writer? What? I was jobless. And at that time, I realized how much I let my work define who I am. Yeah, my spiritual life grew so much as well. It's really hard to explain how much, but a lot. So much so that I've come to a point where I've achieved great freedom in this area. I no longer really care about what people think about my faith anymore. And I realize that it's okay. And yeah, and out of these 3 years of difficulty, I've become a more mature person, more light-hearted. I laugh at about almost everything now. And I have a better perspective of things. I don't get worked up over small things anymore. Um, yeah, I mean, things that used to rattle me doesn't rattle me anymore. I appreciate work for what it is. I don't let it define me as who I am or what I am anymore. Work is just work. I find my passion elsewhere now. My writing is the greatest joy of my life right now, and so is the exploration of how far I can go. But yeah, and how's it like being back in Malaysia? It was a big adjustment. I mean, I really loved the freedom I had in Malaysia. Sorry, in Australia. I love the simple lifestyle. I'm a bit of a greenie. I love composting my food. I love growing my own vegetables. I love living locally. And what I mean by living locally is that I do everything within a 5 kilometer radius. I used to work a kilometer from my house. I used to shop and go to church a kilometer from my house. Everything was within walking distance, and I like that kind of lifestyle. I'm a bit of a kampong girl, I guess, but I did miss a little bit. I did miss the vibrancy of the city a little bit, but yeah, I discovered how much I loved the simple lifestyle. I miss that the most about Australia. I miss going to Adelaide's Central Market on Saturday. Oh, I love doing that. I miss going to the parks for long walks and reading by the beach, watching the dogs run around. I miss having coffee at Brighton Beach, going for long drives. I most of all miss a lot of the patients I used to take care of. Oh, that was so hard saying goodbye to some of them. But I knew that going back to Malaysia was the right thing to do for me at that time. I think if I had not taken that opportunity, I would have been very miserable. I needed that space and that clarity to go back and to know what I really want from life. It was a bit tough to realize that I didn't really want to permanently live in Australia. I mean, I think I've long suspected that. I mean, I didn't exactly go to Australia. I didn't really think it through, as I said on my blog. I just thought it's like, well, it's one of those things on my bucket list, let's do it. And then when I got a visa, I was like, oh God, now what? So I wouldn't advise you to approach migration this way. No. Yeah, so what else can I say? Will I ever come back to Australia? I never say never. I'm a bit of a restless soul. But yeah, my time in Australia was wonderful. And if you're considering to go to Australia, I would advise you to think things really carefully, because Australia is not going to answer all your problems. I mean, all your questions. Everything that you're trying to avoid in Malaysia or in your home country may not be in Australia, but there will be other problems in Australia. Life will just continue. It's just going to be different. And now that I'm back in Malaysia, yeah, I appreciate Malaysia for what it is. Sure has a lot of problems. We all know that. But it has a lot of good points as well. A lot of good points. And we tend to forget that when we're in Malaysia. It's only when you go overseas that you realize that, wow, our country is amazing. So, okay, so this is what has been happening with me the last few months. I'm really, 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 really sorry that I've not been blogging um, consistently. And partly also because I don't know what to tell you guys. Oh no, I'm back in Malaysia. I'm sorry. Well, if you're still interested to follow my life, I'm actually blogging in another site now under my real name. It's elizabeththai.com. The link is below this video. So do visit me there. We'll still talk about Australia and about my plans, but mostly about my writing. So I would love to see you there. If you have any questions about Australia, just pop over there to email me. I'm not going to say my email over there. YouTube, thanks. What else? Yeah, you can also join my mailing list so that you won't miss any blog posts. And yeah, I'm also planning to write a book about my experience in Australia. It's not going to be a how-to guide. I just feel that the market has a lot of that. And because the visa regulations change every single year, it's not going to be very convenient to write it. So it's more of a memoir about my time in Australia and how it really feels like to be a migrant. And I feel that books like this are really lacking. I mean, we got a lot of books from the perspectives of those who moved from Europe to Australia, or America to Australia, but very little on from Malaysia to Australia. And I think a lot of us want to know, how's it like to be moving from Malaysia to Australia, because it's really different. For one, our currency is not great, and we have a lot of cultural challenges. So yeah, I hope that you hang around to read my book one day. I'm maybe putting it up online first, free. I'll be putting out the draft free, so you can read that if you like. And later, probably if you can, maybe just buy the ebook. Yeah, I'm very big into ebooks. So even if you live elsewhere, you can get the ebook. I'm not sure about getting a local publisher yet, but I'm looking into it. But yes, the memoirs are about 20 to 30,000 words so far, and I hope to finish it next year. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for hanging around with me for the past, well, since 2009. Thanks for hanging around with my blog for so long. I hope you continue on my journey in my new blog, and I'll see you there. I probably won't move the blog post in this blog. I will let this blog stand where it is. Yeah, if you want to see updates, you've got to go to the new blog. Thanks.